Good afternoon, almost evening on a Saturday, the day before we meet for worship at the House of the Lord at Drennan Springs, Kentucky. In my challenge to have you read a chapter of John each day, I am up to John chapter 13. And boy, a lot's starting to really happen here if you're reading along with me. Today, the chapter begins with Jesus washing the disciples' feet. So it's right there. You know what's happening. This is during the Holy Week, the Passion. And he's demonstrating to his disciples how he would have us be. He tells them right after this event that one of them will betray him. You know how that turns out. And in the discussion, Jesus talks about how we will show that we are with him, how we are with Jesus, how we are of Jesus, and it's a new commandment. I'm going to read chapter 13, starting at verse 31 and reading through, verse 35 today. When he had gone out, meaning Judas, Jesus said, "Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and glorify him at once. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. You will seek me, and just as I said to the Jews, so now I also say to you, where I am going, you cannot come. A new commandment I give you, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also are to love one another. By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." John chapter 13, verses 31 to 35. And man, that's tough. If we are to show that we are disciples of Jesus by loving people the way that he loved us. Tall order, isn't it? How often can we say that we love the way Jesus loves us? Right. Not very well. I know that if you look at the unconditional love you've shown in your life, it might be love for a child or a grandchild. It might be, sometimes I hope, the love for your spouse. It might be the love for your parents or grandparents, even your siblings. Could be a close friend you have, but Jesus is basically saying love. Just love. I hope and pray that our church feels like a place of love, that when people walk into the doors, whether it's the front door or the back or rappelling down from the ceiling, that they feel love. Because that would show that we've been impacted by Jesus and that we're all about him. Are you all about Jesus? That's where we need to be. And I think that in reading this gospel, the Gospel of John, we're getting a clearer image of who he is and who he wants us to be. Now, remember, this is Saturday afternoon, evening, and Sunday morning we have a really good thing happening at our 11 o'clock worship service. About halfway through, we have our fellowship time where everybody meets and greets, play a song, and we go hug and shake hands and kiss babies, and everybody has a good time. It's hard to break it up. It usually takes 3 or 4 kids ringing a bell to get everybody back. Well, during that fellowship time tomorrow, the plan is for the kids to be dismissed, the ones that want to participate, and go to a children's church activity. One of our ladies, Amanda Jeffries, is heading that up, and she's calling it Little Lights. I love that name she came up with. And that's for ages 3 and up to go and enjoy something directly relevant to them as an alternative to the tired, old, dry sermon by the pastor. So 3 and up does not include all the adults. I know it's pretty tempting, especially when there's a snack and maybe a craft involved, I know. But a good thing. Bring your kids. If you've been on the fence about coming to Drennan because you think, there's not enough going on for the kids, well, you're right. Now we can say we're past that. This is going to be good. Another thing we have tomorrow, remember 7 o'clock, we are one of the churches that is showing a sneak preview of The Essential Church. The movie opens next Friday in theaters throughout the country, and it's going to be shown at Drennan Christian Church Sunday night. No admission price, it's free. We'll start in the fellowship hall, and if we end up needing more space, we'll move it to the chapel. So no meal with that, just the movie, and 7 p.m. It's about a 2-hour movie. It's a documentary, remember. It's not an action-packed Marvel superhero movie, thank goodness, actually. But it's about what happened 3 years ago with the world trying to shut down churches. So be there for that, but especially be in worship tomorrow morning at the chapel. Hope you've been keeping up with the Gospel of John. It's been a good refresher course. See you Sunday.